I joked that our baby wasn't his during a party game. His revenge ended the night and our marriage. I never imagined a joke would lead to my downfall or destroy my marriage. I was just joking when I said the baby wasn't his. The thing is, I just had too much wine and the words just slipped out of my mouth. I didn't even mean to say it, at least not loud and definitely not in front of our friends during a party game, but my husband took it personally. And now he has ruined marriage and the future of my child. It's clear my husband didn't find it funny, because the way he stared at me, like I had just slapped him, when those left my mouth, was enough for me to know that it was stupid and insensitive for me to joke about that kind of thing. That game party was not supposed to turn out that way. We just wanted a normal night with just a few friends, drinks, and some music. For me, it was a reason to wear something that wasn't stained with milk or baby spit up, which was a relief. I had washed so much baby vomit off my clothes that I was beginning to think they were part of my dress designs. And sometimes I was exhausted from taking care of the baby. The baby was just 10 months old and I'd just stopped breastfeeding not long ago. My body was completely feeling like it had been ripped and pulled and reshaped in ways that I didn't even think was possible. At one point, my feet got so big that I couldn't even put my feet into my favorite sneakers, let alone my heels. At some point, I began asking myself what the joys of motherhood were, because I couldn't take note of any. But finally, after a long time, my body was beginning to feel like mine again, and I won't lie, I was excited. I wanted to feel human again, and sexy even. So when my friend Olivia invited us over for a low-key dinner with 2 other couples who were also our mutual friends, I said yes with so much excitement without even asking my husband first. Thankfully, he was totally fine with it. He was just happy I wanted to go out again. Trust me, I was scared to leave the house with the way I was looking. I was chubby, and I felt like I was the ugliest being in the world, so I mostly stayed indoors. But now I was feeling like I was the reason for the sun rising, and I wanted the world to know that. My mom offered to watch the baby overnight. She said I needed a break, and honestly, I didn't argue. I packed up the diaper bag, left her the routine, and promised I'd be back first thing in the morning. The night was fun and cool, until it wasn't. It's kind of funny thinking about it now, that the very first time I went for an outing after I gave birth, things went horrible for me and my marriage. At first, it was a kind of grown-up catch-up you do when everyone's busy and tired all the time. One of the couples brought out a deck of those question cards. Not truth or dare, or anything dramatic. It was just prompts to get people talking. We weren't even playing seriously. Just reading the questions aloud and answering whatever sounded fun. Then one of the guys read a card and laughed. "What's a secret you've never told your partner?" Everyone groaned. I remember someone joking, "Yeah, let's not ruin marriages tonight." I wished I had listened to that voice, but I guess I wasn't in control anymore. I had lost control to the drink in my system. I'd had 2 glasses of wine by then, and I was sipping a glass of wine whiskey, which was still in my hand. I wasn't rushing, just taking it slowly, sip after sip. I guess that's why I didn't realize that I was getting drunk. I was slipping without even knowing it, and I was warm and relaxed, and maybe a little too comfortable. So I laughed and blurted out, "My husband thinks he's so amazing in bed he could get me pregnant." Then I laughed and took a sip before continuing. "Well, joke's on him. Too bad the baby might not even be his." The room suddenly got quiet and awkward. Saying it was quiet must be the biggest understatement I have made in a very long time. It was like the earth froze over and everyone lost their ability to speak. The whiskey that was supposed to be feeling hot in my chest suddenly wasn't hot enough to keep me warm. I felt a chill that was like I still can't explain. It was one of those moments where everyone assumes you're joking, but no one actually laughs. I first looked at the person sitting across the room from me, and he had a cold expression on his face. It was like he was scared of what was about to happen, and as such, he was taking a large gulp of the drink in his hand. I then slowly turned to my husband, and the expression on his face was enough to knock out the alcohol in my system. He didn't need to say a single word. Everything that he was probably thinking was visible on his face. If I say that he was unhappy, that would just be me underestimating the situation again, so I'm not going to do that. I tried to walk it back, hoping to land on my feet as I said, "Oh my God, I was joking, obviously. Geez, the air is so tense here. None of you can take a joke." I even patted my husband's lap playfully as I spoke in hopes to make the joke stick. But I think at that moment, we both knew I wasn't joking when I made those comments about our intimate life and the legitimacy of the paternal relationship with my child and my husband. I needed to do better than that, so I just started laughing, and everyone just joined in with their own fake, dry, and awkward laughter. I guess everyone could see the fire brewing, and they were just trying to put it out before it consumed all of us. I looked around and watched as the tension in the atmosphere slowly melted away. Then I saw my husband smirk. It was a soft smile that basically told me that it was okay. Or that was what I understood it as. I was a complete fool to think that he believed me and everything was okay. I had no clue just how wrong I was. And he didn't even wait for long to show me just how wrong I was. He acted almost immediately. He proved to me that night that it wasn't okay and it will never be. He refused to understand that we were all drinking, and he was supposed to know that it was the effect of the drink and I clearly didn't mean it. Except maybe I did on some level. Because here's the thing I've never told anyone before, not even him. I cheated once, I think it was right around the time I got pregnant. It was one night. I was out of town, pissed off after a fight with him, and met someone at the hotel bar. He was my type, everything I wanted, but he had a little more edge to him. He made me laugh on a night that I just wanted to drown myself in alcohol and forget that my husband even existed. And he helped me forget my husband. At least for that night. But it didn't mean anything. I never saw the guy again. I buried it deep and tried to move on. It was something I never spoke of again, and at some point, I even forgot about it entirely. Trust me, during that period it was very difficult for me to accept that I had an intimate moment outside my marriage, because I really did love my husband, but realistically, it happened. I know some of you might be thinking how I could love someone and still cheat on the person, but I am being honest, it just happened. If I could go back and change it, I would. I would make sure that whatever fight we were having would be resolved immediately. I would have given him a hug and even apologized. I don't even know if I was the one at fault, or if it was him. I honestly cannot even remember what the fight was about. But I can't go back to the past since I'm not some science fiction character, so I had to find a way to live with my actions without my husband finding out. But when I found out I was pregnant, the dates were close enough that I had a tiny flicker of doubt, but I chose not to think about it. I told myself the baby was my husband's, and that was final. That was the only truth I was willing to accept, so I even started to believe it. Sure, I was scared. But I guess when you lie to yourself so much, you start to believe your own lies as well. I told myself that I would not doubt my own lies, because I couldn't expect someone to believe my own lies if I couldn't believe them myself. There was no reason for my husband to suspect me or doubt me because I'm never a person to do such a thing. I despise cheaters, and I don't even count myself as one because my incident was an accident. An accident that will never, ever happen again. The news of the pregnancy made my husband so happy, and I really never wanted to ruin our marriage over a stupid moment I had with a random stranger I don't know. So I created my own version of truth and lived in it. Since then, I have never looked back, and I have been living with that truth until that joke. That stupid, sloppy joke at the game party that came from somewhere real. The subconscious part of me that didn't dare to distort the truth. Anyways, that night, immediately after I made that silly joke and tried to brush it off, my husband smirked and then got up. He didn't even spring up like he was angry. He got up slowly like he was about to give an announcement, but he didn't say anything. He simply looked at me, clearly his throat, then walked away. I didn't know what to expect when he got up, so when he started walking away, I was really shocked. I quickly began gathering my stuff so I could run after him, but just within a minute before I was done, our friends were staring at their phones, then at me. Then as I tried to walk out, I started hearing my voice, repeating the same silly words I said earlier. Then I paused and grabbed the phone out of Olivia's hand. Behold, it was a video of me spewing nonsense about my husband not being the father of our baby on our group chat. I knew it was my husband's doing because during the party, we had suggested making a video for memory's sake, to preserve the moment since it's been so long since we all gathered together, and it was our first post-baby outing. So my husband offered to make the video and then share it with everyone. Turns out, he only shared the part of me messing up. A cruel act, I would say. No matter what, he had no right to do that. I mean, how could he do that to me? How could he make me look like the villain when I made a simple joke, But I couldn't stand there and keep asking myself those stupid questions. So at that moment, I quickly ran out. I was panicking. I just wanted to calm him down, but when I got outside, he was already gone. I opened the Uber app because I just needed to catch up with him and talk to him, but when I tried to confirm the ride, the payment method was declined. It was just so annoying that technology wouldn't work when you needed it the most, in critical moments. At least that's what I thought at first. I just stared at the screen, confused. That card always worked. It was our joint account. I'd use it earlier that week to make an order. I tried again, but got the same thing. I opened my banking app and logged in, but access was denied. Denied. How was that even possible? I thought I had made a mistake while typing the password, so I did it again, this time very slowly, so I wouldn't make any mistakes. But when I tried logging in, I was still denied. That's when my stomach dropped. My husband had blocked my access to our joint account. Then, I dug through my purse, praying for enough cash so I could flag down a regular taxi. But I couldn't find anything that was enough. Just then, my phone started blowing up. Calls after calls. My mom, my dad, and from my friends. Even those that I hadn't spoken to in months. And believe me, it is very annoying when you are in a difficult situation and you're trying to sort yourself out, but you keep receiving calls from all over the world. I didn't answer any of the calls. I couldn't. I just wanted to go home and talk to my husband before he took things too far. So I called my sister and asked her to come get me. Thankfully, she came through. She showed up 20 minutes later. No questions were asked, but I could feel her looking at me from the driver's seat, waiting for me to say something, anything to her. I wasn't in the mood to talk. She must have sensed it because she just drove quietly. She dropped me off at my apartment, still very silent while wearing a disappointed look, and I approached the house without saying much. It felt like everything had already unraveled. When I got to the building, my husband wasn't around and he was the one with the keys. I didn't go with mine that night. I tried calling him, but he didn't pick up. He wasn't answering his phone. I was devastated. Then I pulled out my phone. I didn't know what to do. I was sad and confused. I didn't want to call my sister again or go to my mom's place that night. I wasn't ready for a scolding, and I didn't want to see my baby in such a state. What I needed to do was to see my husband so I could calm him down. So I sat down outside our house, hoping and waiting for my husband to return. I was sure he would definitely come back home before the night was over. During the process, I went online because I needed to distract myself a bit because I was almost killing myself with overthinking. And then, I saw a video clip of me saying that our baby wasn't his on Facebook. My husband had posted it with a caption that says, "Imagine loving someone so much you raise a child that might not be yours until she mocks you and laughs about it in public." I couldn't believe it. I was totally hurt, so I started crying. That post got over 400 likes and dozens of comments calling me trash. You should have seen the comments. People were talking about me like I wasn't a real person. They made me sound like I was the devil, and I was a completely horrible person who just wanted to destroy my husband. But that wasn't true. People from high school were DMing me about it. There was nothing more shameful than that. I was totally helpless and hopeless. I cried until I fell asleep at our doorstep. I woke up the next day and I quickly got up, praying no one saw me. I slept for a long time because when I woke up, it was already afternoon. The shocking thing was that my husband had returned, but he didn't even care about his wife, who was sleeping outside. I knew it because I was met with a sight that broke my heart. My belongings were packed outside of the house. I wanted to ring my husband, but I didn't even realize how low my phone battery was until I tried turning it back on, and it gave me nothing. It was dead, just like everything else in my life was at the moment. Things were just getting messier for me. I tried opening the door, but it was locked. Just then it hit me that I was supposed to check somewhere last night for the spare keys, but I totally forgot. So I did. I checked for the spare that we always left hidden somewhere in a flower pot, but it wasn't there as well. I didn't really have much of a choice, so I knew I had to go to my parents' place. But how? I had no cash and my phone was switched off. After a long thought, I carried my bags and dragged myself along the side of the road. Headlights from passing cars were brushing over me like I didn't exist. That's when I saw a man walking toward a parked car. I stopped him and asked if I could borrow his phone. I must have looked pathetic because he handed it over without a word. I called my sister. Somehow my fingers remembered the number, even though my mind felt blank. She answered, and I just pleaded with her to come get me. She said she was on her way. I gave the phone back, mumbled a thank you, and then sat on the curb watching people live their normal life. It was as if the world had carried on without me. I finally got to my parents' place. My sister didn't say much on the ride over. Again, she kept glancing at me like she wanted to say something, but didn't. I was grateful for the silence. When we pulled up, I saw my mom already standing by the door, arms folded. She didn't look angry. She just looked tired and worried. The kind of worry that makes you feel even worse because you know you caused it. I just greeted her, and I didn't say anything else. Then I walked past her, dropped my bag by the couch, and sat down like my body couldn't hold itself together anymore. They'd seen the video. Of course they had. Everyone had seen the video. If people I hadn't talked to in years were calling me about the video, then my family had definitely seen the video. It was already everywhere. I could tell from the look on my dad's face. He's not the loud type, never has been, but the disappointment was all over him. He didn't ask questions. He just said that I could stay here as long as I needed, but they gave me space. I didn't feel like a family anymore. I don't even know what I expected when I got there. Comfort, forgiveness, a rewind button. I just needed somewhere to hide from the whole world crashing in on me. Thankfully, my baby was sleeping. I didn't even go in to see him, not with everything swirling up in my head. Anyways, my mother informed me that my husband had stopped by earlier to check on our baby, and that stirred up hope in me. How stupid of me to think that. But let's be honest, you would have thought the same thing. I thought that he wanted to walk out on me entirely, but coming to see the baby meant there was hope. Maybe he was just angry, and later he could cool off, but that didn't excuse the fact that he had already humiliated me publicly. To my surprise the next day, my husband had DNA test results delivered to my parents' house, and together with divorce papers. I was angry and disappointed. I didn't believe my husband wanted to end things with me. He didn't even wait to hear my own side of the story, and I felt heartbroken by that. And now, I'm not even sure if I said the words at the party because I was tipsy, or because I needed to finally get it off my chest, or share with a friend because it was hard living with the truth alone. The truth is, if that video of me wasn't made, I would have probably denied saying those words because everything still felt hazy. I don't even know why I said it, but all I know is those words I said as a joke destroyed me. Update. I had tried my best to ask my husband to change his mind about the divorce, but he has refused. He claimed I humiliated him publicly, but to be fair, he did the same too. I never had the intention to humiliate him. I just made a joke, and yeah, I get it wasn't an ideal joke, but he took things to another level. And he did worse because mine was just in front of a few friends, but his own was done on the internet and everyone had access to it. Yes, I cheated accidentally. It was wrong of me. It's not like I intended to. He was married to me, so he would know that I am not that kind of wife. And for that part that I said he wasn't good in bed, that was not totally true. We do have great intimate moments, so that was enough for him to know that I was joking. But he didn't want to hear me out, and he was so decisive, and he went ahead to divorce me. And for my parents, they claimed I could stay as long as I wanted, but that was just a lie. They only cared about their grandson, and they didn't want to do anything that would hurt him. They were too disappointed in me. They even asked for me to find my own place, and I can leave the baby with them because they were not sure I could take care of the child. I was beyond disappointed and angry. On the other hand, my job has become awkward. I can't go online without seeing people talking about me. I get it. I messed up. I should have never cheated. I should have never joked about it. But did I deserve to be humiliated like this? To have everyone think I'm some heartless, cheating monster while I'm still a new mom? And I have a baby to take care of. It's like my husband waited for a moment to destroy me, and he found it. Maybe I deserve the truth to come out, but not like this. Not publicly, and definitely not with this much hate. I don't even know what's going to happen to us, but I know I'm not leaving my baby with my parents. He's the only part of me that hasn't been ruined yet, and I need him by my side. But I didn't deserve to be abandoned and disgraced like that. Was I really that horrible? No one's even asking for my side of the story. But I swear, I didn't mean to say it, and now I can't take it back. My husband should have at least reflected on the good times we had, instead of letting one bad moment come in between us. Did I really not mean a thing to him? He just proved that, and I have never been more disappointed.